Dante's Boxing Nation, let's go ahead and get into it. So the alien, Bernard Hopkins, at age 48, shows more adversity and confidence than a 30-year-old Peter Quillen. He shows a far better chin than a 27-year-old Abner Mares. And he shows more natural athleticism and intelligence in the ring than a 40-year-old Juan Manuel Marquez. Listen, if you go to the store to buy some batteries and you see that they have some Energizer batteries for $5 and they have some cheap-ass brand called Mega Battery for 99 cents, and you already know that the Energizer battery lasts 3 times as long as that cheap-ass battery, which battery would you say is the better battery? It's only common sense, right? It would be the Energizer. So from this point on, I don't want to hear anyone making any more excuses telling me that Pacquiao is old at age 33. Oscar De La Hoya was ancient at age 34. Marquez is old at age 40. And just to go back to Manny Pacquiao real quick, the double standards, the hypocritical contradictions that people make, you know it's a load of crap. When you think about Manny Pacquiao, for example, like I told you guys on many different occasions, on many videos, after Pacquiao has struggled against Marquez twice, the third time was a transition in between the time that Floyd Mayweather had already beat Juan Manuel Marquez easy. And because people seen how easy Floyd Mayweather beat Marquez, everyone figured whatever Floyd Mayweather could do, Manny Pacquiao, he can do better. So when they seen Floyd Mayweather blow out Marquez, everyone started to say before that third fight with Marquez versus Manny Pacquiao, everyone started to say, oh, this is a new and improved Manny Pacquiao. He is going to destroy Marquez in this third fight. This is what all the fans were saying. Soon as Pacquiao struggles again against Marquez for a third time, now all of a sudden everyone's saying, yeah, you know, this is an older version of Pacquiao. He's not as good as he was 3 years ago. You can't have it both ways, guys, because 3 years prior to that, he was a one-handed left-hand puncher struggling against Marquez. 3 years later, he's too old. You can't have it both ways, guys. You can't have it both ways. All right? Now, yeah, it's easy to argue and say that, yeah, but Dante, you know, different fighters age at different times for different reasons. That may be the case. But you know what that tells me? That tells me that those fighters are not as special as the alien Bernard Hopkins. All right? You can't sit here and tell me, oh, well, this fighter, he took more punishment, and that's the reason why, you know, he aged quicker. That's not my damn problem. That's his dumbass problem for taking more damage. Okay? If you have two fucking people that have the exact same car, right? And they've had that car for 5 or 10 years. And one guy, his car is completely beat up, you know what I'm saying? Making gunshot sounds every time he pulls off. Everybody ducking for cover because it sounds terrible. It's idle and all loud. You know, it's just beat up. The other guy, he has the exact same car, but he has no problems at all. His car drives like it's brand new, and it looks like it's brand new. Are you going to tell me that the guy who didn't take care of his car deserves just as much credit as the guy who did take care of his car? Of course not, right? So don't make excuses for fighters who didn't take care of their boxing career the way that they were supposed to. Not necessarily all their fault, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And they just didn't have the intelligence, the skill to take care of their boxing career the way someone like Bernard Hopkins or Floyd Mayweather would take care of theirs, right? I mean, do you really believe that Peter Quillen, Abner Mares, Juan Manuel Marquez, at age 48, will be this dominant against an opponent like Murat? Of course not. It's only common sense, right? Of course not is the answer. I mean, don't get me wrong. Of course, Bernard Hopkins is a physical marble and he's in a league of his own. And of course, some people will say, you can't hold Marquez or Mares or Peter Quillen to the same standards of a Bernard Hopkins or a Floyd Mayweather. And you're absolutely right. That is the exact point that I'm making right now. Bernard Hopkins is completely special. This man is completely special is the point that I've been making. Now let me go ahead and get into this fight. Now I'm going to tell you guys, and this may surprise you after everything that I just said right now, but leading up to this fight, guys, I really had no interest in watching this fight. I mean, I was going to watch it, just because I talk boxing and I wanted to see what would happen. You never know what's going to happen in the sport of boxing, but I really had no interest in watching the fight. Every time I seen Hopkins versus Murat, first of all, I'm like, what the hell is a Murat? Right? I don't even know, never heard of him. It just sounds like a boring ass fight, just listening to it. I would have never expected that there would be more standing ovations in one Bernard Hopkins fight than probably 5. All right? I would have never expected to hear Paparo Analo saying this is a terrific fight by the 48-year-old light heavyweight champion in round 8. I would have never expected to hear Al Bernstein say on numerous occasions throughout the fight, this is an exciting fight. I mean, Bernard Hopkins, he's had some decent performances in between some of the boring performances, but, he showed a lot in this fight. Like I said, I was really impressed. I remember after round 10, you see Murat, he walks back to his corner and he just slumps into his corner. He's huffing and puffing. He's bleeding and they're pouring water all over him. And, if you just seen just a clip of that alone, you would think he was in there with the Terminator, right? And then they switch right over to Bernard Hopkins. He's not even breathing hard. Matter of fact, Bernard, he looked like he's sitting at home on the couch watching the damn fight. That's how calm and composed and relaxed he was sitting in his corner. Now, Bernard Hopkins, he showed a lot of different styles in this fight against Murat, which I was rather impressed with. At the beginning, you could see he was doing a pretty good impersonation of Floyd Mayweather, which is another praise to Floyd Mayweather when you see a 48-year-old legend like Bernard Hopkins basically trying to emulate what Floyd Mayweather does. See, understand something. Now, we already know the Floyd Mayweather shell, I said the Floyd Mayweather shell. We already know that the Philly shell has been around forever. Fighters like Bernard Hopkins, James Toney, and fighters way before that were doing it. But see, when it comes to Bernard Hopkins, when he always did the Philly shell occasionally, but he did it his own way. People, they do it their own way. James Toney, he does it his own way. Just like Floyd Mayweather, he does it his own way. See, like when it comes to, let's say, Roger and Zapp, right? They were one of the first people that pioneered the voice box, okay? And later on, like decades later, you have T-Pain, he starts to bring it back. Now, obviously, all these musicians, they knew that the voice box existed. But T-Pain, he basically said, I'm going to incorporate this into all of my songs and make it my trademark. All right? And he ended up perfecting it just like Roger and Zapp did back then. He made it like the main part of his music career. Okay? And then because he perfected it so well, everyone else followed and they started to try to do it the exact same way that T-Pain was doing it. And this is exactly what people were doing with the Philly shell that Floyd Mayweather has perfected. It was always around, but no one had seen someone perfect it as well as Floyd Mayweather did. And that's the reason why you have people like Adrian Broner. You have people like Canelo Alvarez. You have people like Bernard Hopkins trying to do it the exact same way that Floyd Mayweather is doing it. So anyway, back to the fight. Bernard Hopkins, in the first couple of rounds, he was basically doing a straight Floyd Mayweather, impersonation. Coming forward with the Philly shell and really looking like somewhat of a cutie. All right. And, at first, the first couple of rounds, they were pretty close. They were going kind of back and forth. It was pretty much a close fight in the first half. And then later on, actually, Bernard Hopkins, he went back into his own Bernard Hopkins style, and that's when he started to dominate a pretty tough Murat. I mean, don't get me wrong. Murat is no Andre Ward, but he's also not a tomato can from Oklahoma either. I mean, he was a decent fighter. 25 wins and 15 knockouts. Now, understand something. I don't give a damn how good you are. When you are hitting someone at will, like Bernard Hopkins, he was getting hit at will in some of these rounds. You're getting hit at will by a guy who's 18 years younger than you. And like I said, this is not just some guy that you blow away and he falls over. This was a real challenge. And like I told you guys earlier in this video, not too many fighters at age 48 would have been able to handle someone like Murat. Guys, I didn't actually watch this fight till tonight. I didn't watch the full fight. I watched a piece of it. The main fight that I really wanted to watch was Quillin versus Rosado, which because I only have 15 minutes on this video, I was going to talk about it on this video, but I'm going to do a separate video where I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I think about Peter Quillin and Deontay Wilder's performance. But back to Bernard Hopkins. I was really, really entertained, and I was really impressed with Bernard Hopkins, him going toe-to-toe with a guy 18 years younger than him, and a guy that showed some tenacious instincts in there, if I could put it that way. Bernard Hopkins got caught with some clean shots. I would say Bernard Hopkins got caught with more left hooks in this fight than he probably got caught with in his damn whole career. All right? I mean, he was getting caught, Bernard Hopkins was. Showed a very impressive chin. Some of those left hooks that Bernard Hopkins got caught with, he didn't even see. He didn't even see him coming. And let me tell you guys something. I know this by personal experience. When you get caught with a shot that you do not see, those are the ones that can knock you out, and it doesn't really matter how much power they have because you don't brace yourself for the punch. Like I've said on many occasions before, we call it back in the day, we call it getting dope fiend, where basically you could just be talking to someone and someone just knock your ass from the side with a hook to the chin and knock your ass out. You never seen it coming. Next thing you know, you're getting woke up. Okay? I've seen that happen to a couple of people before. But basically, Bernard Hopkins, he got caught with a couple of shots like that. And he didn't go anywhere. So it was really impressive. He was going toe-to-toe. Like I said, when he was sitting in the corner, he looked like he was a 21-year-old. You looked at the other guy, the young kid. He was the one that looked like the 48-year-old when he was sitting in the corner. I mean, Bernard Hopkins, he really wanted the knockout, and that's probably the only thing you could really say, negative about the whole fight, which really isn't a negative at all. This guy was in there to fight. I mean, you go back and you watch round 8, and I love that, how Bernard Hopkins, he put on the show. He backed up against the ropes, which kind of remind me of Roy Jones versus Telesco. Went toe-to-toe with the much younger Murat, who was a game fighter, catching him with laser lead right hands going toe-to-toe. Murat came back strong in the 9th round and caught Hopkins with a lot of clean shots, which once again impressed me when I seen Bernard Hopkins' chin. It just goes to show you that fighters that have great defense, at least the special ones, they could take punches better than the brawlers can. They just have the intelligence to avoid the majority of the punches throughout their career. But anyway, I'm running out of time. Bernard Hopkins is a physical marvel. He is top 10, one of the greatest fighters of all time. And what he is doing at age 48 is beyond unbelievable. That's all I got on this one, guys. I'm on to the next one.